Welcome back. Well, Bafana Bafana take on Libya in a do-or-die Afcon qualifier in Tunisia on Sunday. South Africa need at least a point to book their place in Egypt. To discuss Bafana Bafana's chances, I'm joined in the studio by former Bafana Bafana defender Matthew Booth, and to talk all things football, actually. What have you been up to these days?
Well, I've been studying for the last couple of years. I'm involved in the artificial grass industry. I'm on a couple of panels for the PSL DC and for South African Institute for Drug-Free Sport, representing the athletes. And yeah, I've got two young boys to look after, so I think that's a full-time job in itself.
What are you involved with in terms of Africa's Five? I see they've decided this year to include a women's tournament.
Yeah, so last year was the first year. This year we've expanded the competition to Uganda, Nigeria and Ghana after the success of last year. And of course, Castle has instituted a women's division as well. Banyana has shown us flames, you know, so with very little resources and support, they've done exceptionally well, and it's about time we start to give the ladies support. It's a market that we've got to start to exploit, you know. Okay,
let's go straight into Bafana Bafana. You've looked at, obviously, Stuart Baxter's squad that he's taken to Tunisia. What do you make of them?
There are a couple of surprises for me. I think the third choice goalkeeper, the young man, it's brilliant that they've included him. I thought perhaps a guy like Mbata, who's been doing exceptionally well for Amazulu, could have perhaps been in there. You know, also the inclusion of Lars Veldweg, obviously going to give us a little bit more up front, a little bit similar to Matiba, who luckily for us has got back on the score sheet in League One for his team. So back on form just in time for a crucial game for us.
Yeah. Needing just a draw, do you expect maybe Stuart Baxter to play for a draw, or they should be going all out?
It would be very dangerous if he went, if he set up for a draw. I doubt he would. You know, when you're in that sort of situation, psychologically, you've got to send the message to the players right from the get-go, particularly in the first half, that we've got to get on the front foot. So, if anything, a little bit more attacking in the first half, and then obviously as the game progresses, let's see how it goes. And he could, in the last 15-20 minutes, become a little bit more defensive, you know, depending on how the game runs.
Obviously, political turmoil in Libya means the game will be played in Tunisia. Does that work in South Africa's favour?
Yeah, although Libya, you know, they're very much like a club team of sorts, because they've been in camp. They've only just recently started their domestic season after 18 months hiatus. So, you know, they're very much together. Their team spirit has been phenomenal. Whereas Bafana Bafana, you know, they last played last year, Paraguay friendly. You know, it's always very difficult for national team coach to get some sort of synergy going in such a short space of time. But they've had a good training session yesterday in Tunis, and they will be travelling later on this week to Sfax.
Despite that, though, you still think the favour will be in South Africa?
Yeah, absolutely. We've only conceded one goal, and that was against Nigeria. Obviously, we shot ourselves in the foot away against Seychelles. A little bit of a tough first half when we played Libya last year in September in Durban. I think the Mokotjo-Furman combo didn't quite work out in that particular case, but we will be probably relying on those two to do the business for us in Sfax.
Baxter has said that he will resign if South Africa does not qualify for this tournament in Egypt. Should he?
Well, I think as a nation we should be qualifying with ease for these competitions. We've got the financial backing, we've got the talent, most importantly. So I probably feel that he's used this as a psychological driving force for the team. Let's hope it doesn't backfire.
Should he resign, though? That was my question. Should he, you know?
I think he's had enough time at the helm to at least get us there. So, yeah. I probably think he should, but I don't think it's a train smash should he be given more time to develop this team.
Someone like Benny McCarthy was speaking to here at ENCA last week. He was saying that obviously his ambitions are not just to coach club football. He would like to coach his national team at one point. Do you think he's someone that could take over that role, is maybe too soon?
I think, you know, when there was talk of him going to Pirates as a coach, there were some raised eyebrows, and I think he did the right thing by starting off at Cape Town City, and it's proved the right move. And very much like education, you can't miss any steps in your processes. And I think there's a couple more steps before Benny can get to the national team, but he's certainly on his way there. I mean, he's done fantastically well at City.
Obviously, looking at two of your teams that you played for, Bidvest Wits as well as Mamelodi Sundowns, are in the vying for that spot to win the title this season. Firstly, what has gone wrong for Wits, who set the pace majority of the season, and suddenly they are now have to chase Mamelodi Sundowns? And also looking at former Pitso Mosimane, what is he doing right to be constantly be here every time in the season? In terms of like, he's one of the, he's one of the, his club is one of the teams rather that could win the league.
Yeah, the problem with pace setters is exactly that. It's a long race. It's a marathon. So I think if anything, Wits had a little bit of a wobble over a 5-game period, and I think it came at the right time because now they've got 6 games to really push towards the end, and they've done very well in their last result to come back to win 4-2. So I think they're back on track. Pitso has been phenomenal with his man management. I've said it over the last number of years. His technical team and particularly their medical staff don't take enough credit for their man management, because people must never underestimate the amount of travelling and that effect that it has on their team.
Quick one, who's going to win it? I have to wrap.
When?
The Absa title this season.
That's a difficult one. Anyone from 7 upwards.
That's not an answer, Matthew. But that's where we'll leave it for this morning. That's Matthew Booth, obviously, talking to us all things Bafana Bafana, as well as they're looking into the Absa Premiership. Really, he's someone who's played for both at clubs, obviously being Bidvest Wits as well as Mamelodi Sundowns.